Hi, it's Susan at Seaside Stitches. Thank you ever so much for dropping by. You are very welcome on my channel, and I usually talk about garments, sewing, sometimes bags, just the odd bag, you know, and sometimes patchwork and bits of quilting. So this is like a March roundup. I've talked about some of the things kind of up towards mid-March, and then there was the Sew Frugal 24 entry and the Sew Yellow for Endo entry. I did do a little video about the Sew Yellow for Endo, having been asked to do so by Jess. It was on the 25th, so it was 2 days after the reveal date. I managed to get my yellow top submitted in the challenge and uploaded in time and submitted in the challenge, and I was very pleased to find out that I had won a prize. And I had won a prize from the Shirring collection. It's spelt serene, but Size Me Sewing, Donna at Size Me Sewing had sponsored a prize, and it was a PDF from one of the Shirring collection, and I chose the dress. As yet I haven't had it printed out, but I have downloaded it and I have looked at the instructions and the sew along, but just for now I'm parking anything other than two things that I'm doing. That's like four things. Two things that I'm doing for April. So I'm really pleased to have won that, and thank you to Jess, thank you to everyone who was all involved in the Endo challenge, and the information that was spread and shared, and the Instagram lives were just tremendous, and good on you for those of you who've spoken out and shared your story, so thank you for that. And then there was the Sew Frugal, and I did manage to complete 4 garments from 4 free patterns, blah blah blah. I was only going to be doing 3 and possibly the floral skirt. Then I was going to possibly do the pom-pom gilet or waistcoat or vest, but that really isn't me, that shape of it. And I was leaving that to last, and I decided in the end not to make it. So that's fine, and that's parked for another time if I should ever use it, but it's not really me. It's kind of a high up and kind of, it may suit lots and lots of people, but it's not really my thing, and I'll just pop them in it. And in terms of a waistcoat or a vest or a gilet, it's not really a gilet, is it? But I much prefer that with a deep V, and I do have that. I started to talk about just meanderings about what I may make for my Make 9. I've never done it before, and I did put a video out, and maybe the end of February. I'll put a link in the description box if you'd like to see it, but it's just I'm talking about, would I like to do this, would I like to do that. This was one of the things that I'd like to do, either in the purple baby cord needle cord that I've got, or there's a kind of a scarlet needle cord. I can't talk as usual. I just want to apologise, I am quite tired. That will unravel as you see little bits of video that I'm going to pop in that I took over the last couple of weeks. Well, we've been away for a week now with family, so over the last 3 weeks I've just videoed little bits of what I was doing, either cutting something out or talking about what I was going to make. But in the month before, as I say, I did talk about possibilities for a Make 9. I haven't figured out how I do find the software, or the like Canva or something, where I can actually join 9 things together and make it look like a grid. So at the moment it's a bit of this and a bit of that. So one of the things that I would like to make is this waistcoat. That is going to be on my official Make 9, which I will kind of announce towards the end of the month probably. And then this is not exactly the jacket that I want to make, but I do like a kind of jacket that's a bit different. And so I did buy this with some of the drumming event that we had in mind, but I do really like it, and so some version of this may appear at some point, but maybe not. So I'm going to call this a jacket with a difference. So some kind of jacket I would like to make, but it won't be a standard kind of jacket shacket, or I don't know how to explain it, but I want to do something that is jacketified, and not necessarily a formal one or a velvet one or a very long one like this, but a jacket will be on my Make 9 plans in some form or another. I'd also mentioned I wanted to finish off the tessuti pattern. It's like a bit like a pinafore. It's just got band across, 2 straps, quite deep straps, and then it just hangs from here. It's got 2 pockets. I've already part made it. It should have a frill on the bottom, and I'm making it out of some 2014, excuse me, it was donated to me. There was 4 meters of home furnishing fabric. It's quite a jazzy kind of orangey browny pattern with all sorts of things on it, and flat florally, and that is something I want to finish. So I'm putting that in with, that's one of my make 9s, is to finish that, because I had to deconstruct it, because I had to make it smaller at the top, then I couldn't get my arms in, I couldn't get it over my head, and I figured a way how I can do that now. So I'm putting that finishing of that, or the revival of that, or whatever, as one of my make 9s. One of the other things I wanted to do was the Fraser cardigan from Love Notions, and that's possibly going to be in some blue French terry, navy-ish French terry with blobs of different colours on. And so again, I'll go into the details of that another time. I'm just kind of saying now that that's what I wanted. I've got a book that was given to me by my daughter-in-law when she put together a hamper for me in 2020, and it is Your Skirt Your Way. It is by Jennifer Taylor, who apparently was in the first or second Sewing Bee. I'm not saying she won it, but she went on to do lots of fitting videos and courses and all sorts of things. So I have used this, I've relied very heavily on this for what I was doing for the So Frugal. Instead of the Florence skirt, so that I could submit something, I was going to do, well obviously it's not there now, is it? So I'll stick a photo in. There's a little bit of a video about that anyway. Okay, I was going to catch it up anyway this morning. I'll come on camera in a minute. My head's a bit frightful because I just walked up to the post office. Anyway, I've just come back. I'm making so many things at once. Not only am I not keeping track of the seam allowances, which is just what I thought, but instead of just sewing this cuff to itself, I've actually sewn both cuffs together. I don't know what I'm doing now. Okay, I'll just unpick this then. I think part of it is I'm rushing because, I'll tell you in a minute. Okay, so I'm rushing because I really can't afford to lose a day this week. And we're having some work done on the doormat. I don't know if you've got me there, so I'll just have to go back and check. So this is how it is. It is Wednesday. The deadline for the So Frugal listings, where you upload everything, is for the 31st, but we are away at the weekend, so I've got to get everything finished by Friday. And it's possible that I would make it. I'm not making loads, I've only making the 3 tops, and one's not very successful. I've been making the Florence skirt, which I can't upload anyway, because although I've made that many changes to it, it's still not considered. It was a free pattern to me last year, so that's fine. I'm doing that for me, but I can't submit it because it's not a free, was at this point in time, it isn't a free pattern for everyone. So I am still making it, and I've changed where the zip goes. I've had to alter the sides, the waist. I've got the waist to kind of fit me. I've lengthened it by 4 inches. So is it the Florence skirt or is it not the Florence skirt? Well, I think the positions of the darts, I haven't yet self-drafted my skirt that I was going to do. So I'm working with this just for now because I wanted to finish a skirt. And this goes well with what I finished last year. This is inside out. So this is in the state of, this is nothing to do with the challenge. This is just that I changed it. I made the sleeve shorter. I've got them, the cuffs are here, but because I took that up twice, I don't even know if you can see it. It's a bit of a mess. So that's there just to be trimmed and overlocked. So that's there, but also it does match. Oh, dear me. It kind of goes with that, doesn't it? So that's an outfit. Forget that finished. I've just a frill to put on the bottom. I've got the facing is on the ironing board. That's been pressed. And I've got to jiggle about with that later. But I've got to just finalise, have I got these side seams where I want them, because I've had to alter them. They're fine at the waist, but then when I just tuck them in a bit more, because I don't want it. It's a bit like an upside down egg cup, and I don't want that. I wanted it to be a bit more slim, more pencil skirt type of fit. And when I did that, just gently bringing it in, or bringing it in by another 1/2 inch or whatever it was pulling the back. The back must be a little bit shorter, less fabric in it. I don't know why. I added the extra that I needed to make a seam allowance. You know what it's like, fabric and patterns and sewing. Things go differently, don't they? So that's that. I am doing, I just put the camera down because I was just showing you where I'm up to, but I realised I'd positioned this really well and I'd pinned it and everything to itself. So I put 2 sleeves together. I don't know what I'm doing. Right, I'm doing too many things at once. This is finished. This is the plantain tee. It is finished except the sleeve hem. So the band's on, the bottom is hemmed, and that just needs hemming. This monstrosity of the Monroe top that I made in some 4-year-old French jersey that's been in my stash, just keep getting French terry, in the palest lilac that you can imagine. And it was far too small on the arms and the arm side, and I didn't cut an inch. I added 1.5 inches to the folded, the pattern on the fold for the collar, because I added 1 inch each side and that wasn't enough, so I've added an extra 1/2 inch each side, so I've actually added 3 inches to the neckband width wise, because I couldn't get it on over my head. So that's there. That needs its sleeves in because I've had to alter the sleeves and put the sleeves in from the plantain top because they were like that on my arms. Yeah, so that's what that is. So if I can crack on, I'll have 3 made. Oh, because the other one is here. This is the Vera top. The Vera top that is just needing these cuffs on and hemming at the bottom. So that's all I need to do to that. Now, why I'm just a bit like, oh, time-wise, is because I don't know if you can hear drip, drop, drip, drop. It's as if it's raining onto the window, but it isn't. We've got a flat roof and it pools, water pools. And then if there's a gust of wind, it blows off and blows back against the window. But then when it starts to drip, it drips and drips because it gets to that edge. There is no gutter on. But sometime today or tomorrow, we have a man coming to attach a gutter, which it's never had in its life. But we've been waiting for him since just before Christmas, really. Not waiting desperately, but he's a really good lad. He's our window cleaner and he does works on roofs and things like that. So anyway, he said he could do it for us and we got a price from him, and he said because it's been raining all the time, it's so difficult to get anything done outside in the UK, in the northwest of the UK anyway. So yes, he should be coming sometime today as long as the rain holds off. So I'm just trying to get as much done. So I shouldn't be chatting to you. I should be getting cracking now. So that's what I'm going to do. So the other thing is that I have to do, I've hemmed these. These are just outstanding work. So this is in this month. I've hemmed it. I've just to do the sleeves on that. It's nothing to do with the challenge. It's a Nico top. This one is a Deer and Doe Orange top. This one has had its hem done. It's waiting for its sleeves to be done, and I wanted to change that band, and I took it with me to Little Legs Fabrics and I matched it to a purple. I want to take that off and put a purple on. None of these are for this weekend, so that's okay. And then this one is part of my cashmere Grafton pattern that I'm trying to get a good fit for. So that's had its hem done and all that needs its sleeves. So on this hook right behind you is Sleeve City hook. That okay, I'll chat to you again another time. Bye for now. Okay, another video that I've just had to redo anyway. Now I'm blinded by the ring light. Yes, so we have the first completion of my So Frugal makes is on its way with this one. So I've got, it's the Forget Me Not patterns, Vera top. I purposely didn't put the twin needle on because it's very difficult to get the V right as you're going around doing the stitching. So I used a zigzag stitch in a little slightly deeper colour than this, so it does stand out, but that's fine. I'm okay with that. I've got one cuff on and then I've got the other cuff to put on and then this to hem, and then that one will be finished, and then this one needs to be finished just by having the cuffs done. And what I said in my other little video was don't wash your hair at night, go to bed with it damp, get up in the morning and then go out in the wind. And also it is a day where I couldn't put conditioner on because it's going to get another dye which will have its colour on, and return me to slightly ginger. Okie doke. Bye. See you in a bit. I'm not sure yet whether there still is a place for this, because this was part of my plan. That's from last year's one. It's inside out, obviously. That is part of my plan, and that not so much, but this certainly was part of my plan if I was going to do an outfit. And I thought I might do the floral skirt, but obviously that doesn't count as an item because it's not free this year. So I keep going on about this, but this is Your Skirt Your Way, and it shows you exactly how to draft and just to do a simple fitted skirt. So you've got your measurement for your waist, your measurement for your hips, your measurement part way up, part way between, and then you can work out whether you're doing an A-line or a very sticky outy one, or a what's that thing called, pencil skirt, excuse me, and then different variations of that. And then pockets or no pockets, frills, no frills, pocket, inseam pockets, on the front pockets, patch pockets, whatever pockets, waistbands, frills, gathered waists, paper bag waists, shirred waists, all sorts of things. So I've really taken a fancy to that one, but the shorter version, which is kind of similarly allied to the floral skirt, which is kind of what I wanted in the first place, with this level of drape and flow. And it is just a matter of getting your measurements, turning them into a block, and then you can alter them and slash and spread them, or do a half circle, or have the gourd skirt where I used to do that when I was a teenager, where you measure your waist, you measure your hips, and then you measure whether you want it to go out a bit, and then you divide that by how many gauze you want, or how many panels you want, whatever you want to call it. So if you're dividing 30 by 6, you only want 5-inch panels, but then you add your seam allowance on each panel and then join them together. But you know that you've got your width to cover your hips because you've done that measurement. You know what flow they're going in, at what angle they're going in, and that's basically it. And then they were only about 15 inches deep because it was the miniskirt, wasn't it? So I made many of those, and then the waistband and a zip and a button on, or a hook and eye or something. So I'm not quite sure if I'm going to have time to do anything like that with this. I part made the block, and then I just fell into doing it with the floral skirt. Oh, see, I've got this gathered now and stuck in my zip. So I don't even know why there's a raw edge, because the raw edge is weirdly on the selvage edge as well. It's ridiculous, really. The selvage is kind of fluffy because my actual edge has been overlocked when I was putting it in the washing machine, which is ages ago. This is on a vlog from 2002, on a Vlogmas from 2002 when I got it at first. Right, I'm going again. I've got to get this cuff on because I got distracted and went for some food, and now it's nearly 1 o'clock. I'm going to do the cuff. So that's a better picture of it, and then showing you the different aspects to do it so that you can choose the A-line skirt but lengthen it. Use the A-line skirt block and lengthen, and the lengthened version, and then you've got your gathered tiers and your spaces between to make those bigger, and then whether you've got a zip back or not, and your facing, and it's very simplistic, and it's been written by someone who is in the first or second series of the Sewing Bee, Jennifer Taylor. It's not someone I'm familiar with, but she does have a channel, Taylor, and she's on Facebook as Taylor, and she's Jenny Bob Taylor on Twitter and Instagram. So, and you can vary it into kind of a whatever that is. I'm calling it a denim skirt, but it's obviously not a denim, is it? Because it's corduroy. But you know what I mean, that style. A jeans kind of skirt. Right. I'll leave you with that. I'll crack on. Okay, well, I'm a bit bog-eyed now anyway. I'm gonna go, it's been hurting my hand. So anyway, I'm really pleased with it. It's just really lovely. It needs a press now because it's just all been screwed up and anyway, the only thing I realise now, just trying it on and it's all together, I just made it straight from the packet. I sized down one size, but I didn't. I usually take off 1/2 inch at the top of shoulders, most shoulders, and I didn't do that this time. I definitely did it on the other one. I've now moved it ready to overlock because I've got lilac on my overlocker. Right, so all I've got to do now is the hem. So I'm just going to have a brew and I'll come back and get my hem done, and then I can turn my attention to the other one. It's just been a kind of a laboured exercise, everything I've tried to do today. You know, it is when you get one of them. And nothing's been difficult to do, just, okay. Anyway, so just the reveal for the So Frugal, I did manage to put 4 things on Instagram. So I did make the plantain tea. I made that from some purple cotton lycra jersey that was part of Minerva's core range cotton lycra jerseys. And I'd had that before Christmas and I used that for that. And I like that. And that was on, there'll be a picture somewhere coming up. And then I also made the Vera top from Forget Me Not Patterns. I'd made it the year before in a funny lilac that's not really me. And I made that in the turquoise cotton lycra jersey from Jenny Stitches. And then I made the Tessuti Monroe turtleneck top, and which wasn't really me. And to give the pattern its due, main reason it didn't come out how I'd want it, well, I don't know that it would anyway, because I don't like a loose fit thing, do I, or a drop shoulder, but I had an idea for it. Was I didn't use anything like as stretchy enough as it needed. Just doing a quick video clip because I'm really quite surprised by this Monroe top, this Monroe turtleneck by Tessuti Patterns. I've just thought it looks a bit rubbish when I've had it hanging up on my way to making it for the So Frugal. But just kind of, I put it on and styled it up a bit. I don't need to style it up. I've only sat sewing, but feel a bit better. a bit glam in my earrings. It really doesn't matter. But I'm not one for having a wide fit, kind of loose fit, kind of sloppy Joe kind of a thing. But it just feels really comfy. And I know it's a bit baggy at the back, but it's just, I think I just did a size 1. The sleeves were too tight, far too tight. It's just French terry and there's not much give to it. So anyway, I cut them again, but from the Deer and Doe plantain tee, which is also a free pattern. So I cut off, there's a sleeve head on those, but I just cut it off at the same length of where the other sleeve was, if you know what I mean. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So yes, I've still achieved a free top. And as I say, it's kind of wide. Drop shoulder, which I don't normally like, but I'm not aware of it. It just feels cozy and casual. So anyway, just letting you know. See you in a bit. Bye. But even in using a stretchy piece of cotton lycra jersey to put the turtleneck on, and even by widening the neck by, I can't remember, 1/2 inch most of the way around the front anyway, because that came up high for me. And adding 3 inches onto the actual turtleneck collar part, I still have to rummage it down over my head, but I do have a big head. And there's a picture of me in that where I actually have glammed myself up a bit, and I don't mind it that much. And there's one where you can see that it's kind of loose fitting, and yes, so there's that there if you want to see it. And then I went on a shearing course, a shearing workshop on Saturday the 23rd at the Sewing Institute at Lytham, and I did make a piece of shirring for the back waistband of the style arc. This is bigger than it needs to be. This was my practice version and I did it on a much bigger piece, so this just needs trimming down to size. But I'll slip a little bit of a video in that as well. So I'm on with the bell dress and I'm just doing that bit of shearing the waistband. And this is my beginnings, my practicing on the gingham. There you go, it's coming along. Got a lot of strobe in though. So one of the big things I've learned is that I can put this, transfer this mark onto my fabric by using the carbon paper, which Lucy is going to let me have, so that's good. And the back piece, the waistband, is coming along quite nicely. Obviously it's wonky on the gingham. I'm going to recut that because it's not long enough anyway. I've not shrunk it yet. I'm really pleased with the idea of it. Getting better at doing the lines, even though they're not following the gingham, they weren't meant to. Yeah. Okay, so what I've done is cut another strip, and this time I've cut it far longer than I need it to be, because when I did it folded, I didn't keep on the, I got on the grain line as far as I knew, but the gingham wasn't on the grain line. So you put this end on the fold, and the second one along, which was this one was where I needed it according to the size 12, and it just wasn't long enough, but also it was on the twist. So I've not only done it double this length, I've done it right to the as much fabric as I've got, and I'll work that out in a minute. Just little clips of things really, but having made this, it gave me the confidence to try to make a skirt out of the fabric that I'd wanted to make the Florence skirt from, and that does go with both of the tops that I made, the plantain and the Vera top. And I did finish this, I did complete it, I have photos of it completed, I posted photos of it completed, and then yesterday when we came back from our holiday with our family, where I had been very happily working in the fields. Now it sounds like they live on a farm, but it's not quite as big as a farm, but they have got 2 or 3 acres, and I was working outside, and insects have always loved me. They consider me their best friend. I don't consider them my best friend, but I've got spots here and here and here and on my feet, on my legs, where I get bitten all the time. So that's why I'm a bit dotty today. And anyway, it's been strange being away for a week and not sewing, but I did buy a book while I was away, so I'll tell you that after. Yes, so I had made this, and then yesterday I did a clip of me showing you that it was fully made, and then where I'd unpicked it, and although we were up at 6:40 yesterday morning, by the time I got home, put the washer on from the clothes that needed washing, had a shower, and just a general flop, I then came up and started unpicking this and taking the, and then because I'd unpicked it, because when I'd finished it, I'd made sure all the edges were sealed so that the shirring couldn't come out. And then I'd already overlocked each piece, but I'd overlocked it together, each side. So I had to take all that out. Anyway, there's a picture that has evidence that it was actually made. And then last night I added 3 more rows on the bottom, on each side, on each piece, front and back. And what I'm trying to do is emulate Lucia, I think it's Lucia Sews, or L-Y in capitals, C-I-A and Sews. And she had done a shirred skirt that starts here and then stops around, as she says, crotch length. And so it's really very fitted around here, and then it goes out into a flare, and that's what I wanted to do. But in the time I had before I had leaving myself enough time to actually pack to go away on Saturday when I did start this, I only made it so that it was just at the waist, and then I sewed it together, and then I modelled it, and then I left it at that. Oh, and I hemmed it, so I've had to take the side seams apart, so I've had to undo the hem at the bottom on each side, but that's fine. So I want it to be how I wanted it to be, if you know what I mean. So I'm coming round to explaining to you. So what I was doing was I had made a draft of an A-line type skirt from this book, just with the size that I wanted it, my waist measurement, my hip measurement, enough for that to come in, so darts on it, and then cut it on the fold. It was on the fold, made the front piece. So the front piece and the back piece were identical because it was going to have a side zip. Anyway, what Lucia says is, in order to make sure that you can account for, so it's not made out of just rectangles, is what I'm trying to say, because there's loads of examples where you just make something out of a rectangle. This is not a rectangle. So you put your piece of pattern piece with your fold as if it's against the fold, and then it goes like that and it sticks out like that. But you then move it away by a certain number of inches, and she stipulated how many inches. I think it's a third of your hip measurement that you've got. I can't remember just now. It's in a book somewhere, and maybe I'll write it in the instruction. I'll just put a link to her website, to her YouTube tutorial, if you are wanting to do it. And that's what I want to do, so that when you do finish it, when you've got it so that it's down here at the end, so it starts here, it will be still gathered, still ruched here or wherever it is, and then when you stop the ruching, it then flares out a little bit. It's a bit rah-rah-y, but I made it longer than she did, quite a bit longer, 6 inches longer, 8 inches longer. Hers is a little mini skirt, and it's really quite nice, but I just thought it would be cute for my holidays. So that's what I was doing, and also taking the advice of Lucy at the Sewing Institute to not just rely on the shirring to keep up a garment. So if you're doing one with if it's going to be strapless, that covers your bust, you know, like a boob tube, then maybe use a piece of proper elastic in a channel, because quite often you start off with a channel just as your hem. So to do that, and then that will give you more structure, more safety really, so that it doesn't just start to fall down. And so I'd done that. So I'd done that on both pieces. I'd joined it together. So that's why that is hanging about there, because that bit is loose now until I decide what distance I'm doing and joining it. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know if you've caught any of that, but that is what qualifies as a me-made or free pattern, because it was self-drafted. Right, so this is my skirt. I've now pulled it apart because I want to add another 20 odd rows of shirring. I thought I'd done 8. I seem to only have done 6 before I went away, before I finished it and put it on Instagram for the challenge, but I have now done 10 rows on each side. So I pulled it all apart, took all the overlocking out, resealed it on the sides just so that it doesn't all come apart. Taken apart the hem, obviously undone the hem at the bottom because that was connected on each side, and yeah, that's coming along. So I've done some of that, and I'm a bit tired now, to be honest. We were up at 6:40 something, and so that's looking better because it's supposed to come down over my hips, not just stop at the waist. So that's that. The other thing I've done, I've messed this up. I've just been sorting out how many bits of scraps that I've got for the little bag that I want to make out of this fabric. Just bits and pieces of fabric all sat about that I'm just going to patchwork randomly and hopefully make a bag. And I've just been looking at my other bag, my open wide, and so I've been gathering the whatever they're called ingredients. That's not quite right, is it? But anyway, to kind of make a similar, I like the impact of this with the parrot blue zip and the parrot blue fold over elastic on the silver, and it's got a royal blue lining which does pick out some of the royal blue on the fabric. You can't just see it now, but anyway, that's what I'm doing. So I'm just going to clock off now because, as I say, it's 8:30, and yeah, I've got a pattern to alter. I'm only making 2 things this month. As far as I am aware, I'm twiddling about with this skirt. We're going away in June sometime, and I've got about 8 or 9 weeks to get everything ready that I wanted to get mitchy-matchy. I don't think that's the word, is it? Mitchy-matchy. But anyway, kind of coordinating and adding that to whatever else I've got. So that's that for now, and I'll see you again perhaps tomorrow. Okay, so that's that. And so the Monroe was what it was. Just made out of some French terry, and there will be a picture of that. And what else was I going to talk to you about? I've just been sorting out a pattern today. We've just come back from Little Legs Fabrics because there was something I wanted to look for to find out if it was a match for something, and it was kind of a match. So that fabric is in the washing machine. I'm not talking about that one. And as I said, there's just 2 things I'm making in April. We're going out to a show, Steel Eye Span. It's Maddie Pryor and her daughter. If you don't know Steel Eye Span, it don't mean anything to you. That is in a week or so, and I wanted to wear something a bit 70s and a bit maiden-like and a bit kind of, there's always a damsel in the, it's a folk rock or a folk rock group, and there's often a damsel or a maiden or something being wronged somewhere. And I had an idea for that. And I thought even if I'd got that finished, I could have finished the style art dress. I may have worn that, but it's a bit chilly for that maiden, because this is my toile really, to do it in just cotton poly gingham. So that's not quite what I wanted to do. Yeah, and then I don't want to do anything. I did want to make a blouse, but I wouldn't have submitted it into the Sew April blouse because I don't do it because it's prizes are, the winners are chosen rather than random. So I don't get involved in that. Sometimes I make a blouse for myself because people are making blouses and there's lots of good ideas about blouses. So I wouldn't have minded of making a blouse, but not to submit. Okay, so that's that. And one of the things is that I had bought my daughter-in-law, I shall show you that too, the time before when I went to Little Legs Fabric to pick up a free pattern that I'd had printed, and that was recommended, that had shirring on it. So Lucy at Sewing Institute had offered these as ideas to get a free pattern that's got shirring on. So if you didn't have anything you wanted to make, you could just kind of go with that free pattern. So that was another one to add to the possibles of Sew Frugal, but I didn't do that. And I was having it printed at Little Legs, go and picking it up. And then the danger of that is you then go and find some wonderful fabric for your daughter-in-law, who is an extremely enthusiastic entomologist and absolutely loves all wildlife, and particularly as a fan of insects. And this was, I think it's called Golden Bees. And I wanted to show it her first to see if I should get more and make her a quick top, but only a top for her to muck about in the garden with, because I wouldn't be so bold as to think that I know what kind of top our Amy would want, or an infinity scarf. So she prefers an infinity scarf, and so that's what I want to make for her. And also I am involved, I've volunteered to be involved in a community project, which again I'm not really talking about the details of, but I need to be making something, a couple of things a month for that are due hopefully by October. So I can talk about that a bit more when I don't know how much it's been advertised in its entirety by the people who've organised it. It's nothing to do with Instagram's sewing challenge. It's a local thing. It's something in Fleetwood that happened last year, and I wasn't aware of it until the last minute, and I said, oh, I would have helped on that. And so this year I've been approached to offer some sewing to that. So that's one thing that I'm doing. So I want to keep my head fairly clear for just as you know, if you've been with me before, I don't just produce and produce and produce. I don't have a massive stash. I don't have, if I buy something, it's kind of an odd thing here and there. I usually have an idea for it, or I'm so inspired by it I don't leave it, because when my inspiration strikes, then I won't have the thing because it will have gone. Today I went, while I was there last time, as I say, and I picked that up, I did spot some fabric, but I wasn't quite sure when I got back whether it would be a good match for something that I wanted to team it with. So we went today with something that I could match it to, and then make a decision about whether I would get it or not. And then I could have got it, I could have come back and then got it online, but I couldn't risk getting it online if the colour wasn't just the right colour. Again, if you know me, you know me, and I don't like an off shade or something that's not quite what I wanted. So I couldn't risk it. So we went in and had a look, and it fit in nicely, really. And when I walked in, I can't remember her name, the blonde one of the staff from Little Legs was just by the door as I walked in, and she went, "Oh, I love your dress." And I said, "I can't think where I got this fabric from." So we were laughing because obviously I got it from there. And yeah, so then I walked in and two of the others were busy inside sorting out orders and things like that. And then I just made a remark like, "I'm just going upstairs. I'm okay to go upstairs. I just want to match something to this." "Oh yeah, that's fine." And then they were kind of looked across, and I just went, I'm just modelling for you." So it's that. Anyway, there you go. Bits of nonsense. So I'll pop in bits of stuff that I've just filmed on my way through to this point now, and from this point I will also say thanks ever so much for joining. Oh, I can't believe how many. I got some lovely I got quite a lot more subscribers since I've done this So Frugal 24 vloggers tour video that I did. And so thank you if you're someone who is new, thank you very much. But thank you if you've been staying with me all the time, and I really appreciate everyone who watches. I still do it when I only get 56 views, but I don't care. I still do it if there's nobody there, because I feel like I have a lot to tell you, and if you don't listen, if you're not there to listen, you're not there to listen, but I've told you. So it's really nice if someone is there, and also nice if people have made a comment and left a comment and pressed the like button, and the subscribers just help me be up the list, and I get spread about more and more. So thank you for that, and I hope to see you again soon. Just this Sunday I'll be going on the first weekend sewing social that Christine at Gemini Stitches has organised under the banner, it's so complicated, this Northwest Sewing Social, which is held around at nearby to Accrington in her sister-in-law's venue, the Mill House venue. So if you're interested, if you want to tap in Mill House venue, things like that will come up. And or if you look on Facebook, Northwest Sewing Social will come up. Too much information, I can't blab blab blab. I'm falling asleep, to be honest. I'm so tired. So that's what I was saying. So after I'd done this little video of, right, I'm going to pull this apart now. It was Alan's art group last night, and we were back in time for it, and so they've moved it from Monday to Sunday. You don't need to keep up, it's me that does. So he was doing that, so I thought, well, I may as well do a couple of rows. So I was doing this till 8:30 last night, so that's also why I'm a bit bog-eyed. And I have been sorting out a pattern so that I don't trace patterns usually. Occasionally I have done, but I never have traced tissue patterns, like big 4 patterns. I've never traced those. But what I decided to do is I want to make quite a few alterations to this next pattern. So I did get my Swedish tracing paper, which sits in here, which is one of my blocks, one of my many blocks that I've made that I never make anything with, a bodice block. This just wraps around the Swedish tracing paper so it doesn't fall over all the time and come unravelled. So I did lay this on the table, just this. Laid it out, put the pattern on top, and then I put the weights on and then pinned the tissue paper to it. And then I can write on this and identify which pattern piece everything is. And then I can make my amendments to this. So that is my plan, but as I have a very busy week this week, I don't know when that plan will turn into anything, and I can hear the spinning of my washing machine now from that fabric that I bought. This was the other thing, the other top that I finished in March, where I just did the hems and the sleeves, but I didn't get a chance to photograph it before we went away, because we went we didn't go Saturday evening. I was doing that skirts until Saturday evening, and I then had to pack and we went on Sunday morning. So we've been away Sunday to Sunday. So there's little Harold, the bear, having a peep at you. And I'll say goodnight to him and to you. Night night for now. Sorry I've gone on and on and on, and I hope you're still with me. And I'll pop in some bits and that if I haven't done already. Okay, so it's going to be thank you ever so much for watching. And I'll see you again soon. I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now. Susan at Seaside Stitches signing off. Bye.